Hey everyone, and welcome out to episode 70 of a Nerd Named Mark podcast. It's me, it's Mark, your host here, and another video version. If you're watching this on YouTube, welcome back. For those of you who are listening to the audio version is different than the video version. There are extra goodies. There's probably, I would compare it to the audio version. You're gonna get a lot of stuff cut out from the video version where I'm actually showing off things and talking about how things look, like comic covers or panels or any of the stuff I bought. And I cut that out of the audio so that way there you don't have to listen to me just, showing something up, be like, hey, look at what this looks like, and then this. So that's just a disclaimer because someone asked me, hey, your video version had some differences. Yes, there are differences. So, with that being said, welcome. I have no. I was trying to think of a topic because honestly, I actually had time to go to the comic book store this week, and guess what? I normally wait 2 weeks. I didn't this time, so it was the most lackluster comic book haul ever. 2 issues, and that's it. So I figured for this episode, and also I'm back at work. I haven't played a lot of games either, and I was like, oh no, what am I going to talk about? So between the comics and a few of the games I've been playing, the main topic, I'm going to talk about the Justice League, Zack Snyder's cut, and not any of the information we've been given or any of the news, but how there's so much being shown and teased almost every day by Zack Snyder that it's kind of ruining the hype for me personally. Like, I'm still going to watch it day one. I'm going to love it. Don't get me wrong, but I'm tired of getting teasers every day. It should have just been announced, teaser trailer, real trailer, and that's it. I'm tired of these screenshots and this and that. Like almost every day, something about the Snyder cut is trending because he's revealing something every day. And it's like, I want to be surprised. I didn't know to see Jared Leto's Joker. So I'm definitely going to be talking about that as well as touching about up on WandaVision and then also some of the HBO Max shows that they announced that are actually going to like tie into some of the movies. So it's going to be more just comic book television and movies talking about that for the main topic. I was trying to think of other things, but honestly, like that's the main thing that's been on my brain. That's the main thing I've watched because I've been working full time. So but I do have some new collectibles that I bought. So I'm going to be, talking about that really quick. That will be mainly on the video version, not like I'll talk about it really quick on the video version or on the audio version, but you're going to see more on the video version. I also have a video going live, or it should be live before this episode, that actually shows off an unboxing of what I got. I also decided I wanted to talk about Pokemon as well because of the McDonald's Happy Meal situation and the Cinnamon Toast Crunch situation. In my personal opinion, as someone who has been collecting Pokemon TCG and playing TCG online way before this big craze honestly started in the last like 18 months. So I have a lot of opinions about that. So it's going to be, main topics are basically Zack Snyder's Justice League and Pokemon 25 TCG. But let's get into the normal, swing of things. Obviously, because I have two comics, let's just talk about the comics really quick. Because I didn't get to go to the main location. I went to my shop, which is separate and easy to get into. Not a lot of people are there, so I don't have to wait because they're still limited in how many people can go into stores. So, with that being said, I could not get into the main central comic book shop. I'm going to try and go on Sunday, hopefully on Valentine's Day, because I'm like, oh yeah, no, I'll just go right when they open Sunday. I can pick up some comics because my pull list comics I got, but like I said, my other shop that I usually go to that I have my pull list with, they don't actually carry a lot of issues like new to grab off the shelf. They're kind of like subscription only, and they have a lot of the collectibles and like graded comics and a lot of uh older issues that you can get. So I got my two that were on my pull list, and I plan on Sunday going. So hopefully, with next week's episode, I'll have a bunch of comics to talk about. So right off the bat, I have issue 2 of Green Lantern Future State. Now, I stopped pulling Green Lantern for a while, but I am a huge Green Lantern fan. I have the Green Lantern Ion tattoo. I have a big lantern tattooed on my back. And that was actually my first tattoo I got when I was 18 back in 2004 because I'm old. But yeah, so I haven't really been pulling Green Lantern since Rebirth. Not, the Green Lantern Rebirth trade when they brought Hal Jordan back, but the one that just happened a couple years ago after New 52s. I haven't really pulled any Green Lantern since. Other than like anniversary issues, and I've been buying trades, but I'm not pulling the actual monthly comic. And just because it like the writing and the story was getting kind of like once they started introducing after Brightest Day and Blackest Night, all the different rings and the different lantern cores and this and that, I was like, this is just too much, and it was really affecting the stories for me personally. Like I wasn't really fully enjoying them, so I stopped pulling them. And then next, and this is something. This is actually going to be a video review that I'm going to do eventually, probably over the weekend. I got my Mighty Morphin number 4. We're getting close to knowing who the new Green Ranger is. And right now, the story is really focusing heavy on that and a Zordon story as well. But I'm not going to spoil it in the main podcast. I will be doing that on a separate video, which will also have an audio version. Which I finally, like I mentioned last week, the RSS feed, the logo, and everything is done. I can finally start putting my reviews slash spoiler uh, podcasts on its own feed. So when I have the first one go live, if you follow me on Twitter or Instagram, or you are a fan on the Facebook page, you will get the link to that RSS feed so you can actually see and read like basically the spoilers and the reviews of stuff separate from this. So if you're listening to this and you want a spoiler, you want a review, you can specifically go over there. So that way there you won't indirectly have an accidental spoiler, which I always try and pride myself on the fact that 70 episodes in, unless I warn you ahead of time, I have not accidentally spoiled anything, whether it's a video game, a movie, or a comic book. And I'm really happy that that's like something I pride myself on, because a lot of podcasts I listen to don't. They will just flat out be like, "Oh yeah, spoiler warning," and then boom, go right into it. And it's like, you got to give me a second to pause, give me a timestamp, let me jump ahead, be like, "Hey, if you don't want spoilers, jump ahead 10 minutes or jump ahead 5 minutes." And a lot of podcasts don't do that, and I've had a lot of stuff ruined for me and spoiled, and it kind of turns me off to listen to that podcast. But that's I'll get off the soapbox now. So yeah, Money Morphin number 4. Uh, so good. Uh, I would have had Power Rangers for this, but like I said, I actually went this week. 2 weeks in a row, I went and got my comics. I didn't wait because I had time. I got out of work early. The comic book shop is literally half a mile from my work, so I was like, I might as well just mosey on over and get my comics. So that's it for comic books. Like I said, really late week for me. My wallet thanks me because with my discount and this and that, I spent $8, $8 because I get 25%. I get like 20% off. So I mean, can't complain, you know. And that's it for comics. So video games, oof, like I didn't realize how many video games I was playing and how much time I was spending playing video games until I went back to work and realized how little I'm just playing video games now. So you figure with my new schedule, I'm getting up 5:15, 5:30 every day. Early in the morning, gotta make my coffee, watch some YouTube videos, browse what's trending on social media, get ready for work, and I'm at work by 7. Then, time I get out, it's like by the time I get home, it's like 3 o'clock, and I'm tired. So, that's when I'll watch, some TV. Maybe we'll watch a movie, watch some Netflix. If it's Friday, watch WandaVision or And the Servant, because The Servant did return for season 2. I completely forgot. Such a great show. If you haven't checked it out on Apple TV Plus, produced by M. Night Shyamalan. Really good show. And it's one of those ones where it's like you don't know what's going on. It's very psychological and a thriller, and I can't say enough good things about it. So every once in a while, like now I'm not really playing the Xbox. And like things were added on Game Pass, and I'm like, oh man, I'm gonna play these. And I'm like, I'm exhausted. I have a headache. I don't want to play any games. So honestly, for video games, the only thing I've really been playing is Kamen Rider Memory of Heroes on the Switch. I did stream a couple days ago. I started it. I haven't finished it yet. It's been out for a couple years on PC, but it just came out on the Switch on February 4th. It's called Canarium. It's a first person psychological thriller with puzzles. It's based off of it's based off of H.P. Lovecraft's The Mountain of Madness. So it's really good. You're out in like a base in Antarctica. They're drilling. They found caves. There's statues about ancient creatures and this and that. Really good. If you like H.P. Lovecraft, you'll really enjoy this. If you like first person like psychological thrillers where you got to solve puzzles, no combat or anything like that, with like some jump scares, definitely check it out. It's I believe $14.99 on the eShop. It's worth every penny, or it might be 20. I don't know. It's either 20 or 4 or 15. It's still worth it. I'm enjoying it a lot. And then I haven't started yet. I downloaded it. I plan on playing it. There's the Werewolf the Apocalypse, which came out on Xbox and PlayStation, I believe PC, which is, a werewolf game. But for those of you who don't know, Werewolf the Apocalypse is actually like a tabletop pen and paper RPG. And they released on the Switch and I believe on basically on every console, PC, uh, Werewolf the Apocalypse Heart of the Forest, which is more traditional pen and paper style video game. You get to pick, dialogue options. You basically choose your own adventure, this and that, and RPG elements of it, like where you gain rage, you gain this and that, and you have to pick options. Really good. I played the demo for like an hour, and I was like, I'm sold. Because I do like the company. I forgot their name that actually make and create all the stories for Werewolf Apocalypse, because they also do Vampire the Masquerade as well. I'm a huge tabletop pen and paper RPG fan. I haven't played any like physically with other people in probably a decade, just because a lot of my friends got out of it, and those who were sticking with just Dungeons and Dragons and Warhammer tabletop. Like I was really big into Warhammer tabletop. Like I had a complete vampire count set, all the miniatures painted, this and that. I had the carriage with the nightmare horses. I had basically the whole entire thing because I worked next to a game workshop when I worked at GameStop and back in the day, and I used to just go over there whenever I got paid. Hung out over there. I got to chill in the painting classes. I learned a lot from them, and I used to always support them by buying the vampire accounts. That was like my main thing. I loved vampire accounts, and I had one of my coworkers at the time. He had a huge setup like in his apartment. He had a 2-bedroom apartment with literally the second bedroom, because he lived alone, was set up specifically with a big table just made just to play Warhammer on. And I was like, this is like the sickest room ever. Like, and I hit my mic. I apologize for that noise. But I was like, this is the sickest room ever. Like, we would just meet a couple friends and like we just hang out and just play Warhammer for like 8-9 hours at a time. And then he even had like a bench set up against the wall with stools and all the stuff set up to paint all the miniatures too. So we would just chill, paint miniatures. So I love, you know, tabletop and pen and paper RPGs. Now, in the last decade, I've been getting more into the video game versions because, well, I just don't have the space, the time, the resources to dedicate to in-person pen and paper and tabletop games. Now, I know with Discord and Zoom and stuff, like a lot of people have found ways to do this stuff. That's cool. Just, it's not for me. I'd rather just play a video game version of it by myself, enjoy it that way. I'm not antisocial, just I don't have the dedication to, I'm turning 35 this month. I I really don't have time to play like a 12 plus hour Dungeons and Dragons campaign. I really don't. I'm too old for it. And I know I probably could, but it's just too much going on in life to actually spend a whole entire day playing Dungeons and Dragons. Now, other than those games, I'm trying to think what else I've been playing. Between Canarium and Common Memory of Heroes, I'm still playing Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu. I've been streaming that. That's been a lot of fun. A lot of people enjoy it because like I set the RGB lights up to green, and I love grass type Pokemons. I put on my Bulbasaur hoodie and just chill, play some Pokemon because it is Pokemon 25. It's the 25th anniversary this month, which is really cool. We're going to get some announcements on the 27th, which I'm going to talk about later on. So yeah, games, that's it for what I've been playing. Now, what I've downloaded. So Final Fantasy 12, the Zodiac Age is on Game Pass. I downloaded it on Game Pass for PC. I loaded it up, changed all my settings. It looks amazing. I can't wait to dive in and play that. But the backlog of games is just too much for me right now. Like, I really thought I chipped away at my backlog for the last 10 months in quarantine. No, not even close. I have so many games to play still, and I'm getting there. It's a bit, like, especially because I keep buying games. So it's like, okay, for every like maybe 2 games that were already on my backlog, I bought a new game to add to the list. And it's just a never ending cycle. It's never gonna, I don't think I'm ever gonna clear my backlog of video games out. I've tried. At one point, I made a really good dent in it, and then it was like there was a lot of good deals going on, and then I was like, okay, here's add 15 more games to your list, and I'm like, really? Like, I just, but I'm not. I don't feel any pressure really to play all my games. I'm just playing them as I will. It's not like I'm achievement hunting or trophy hunting. I'm just enjoying video games. So that's it for games. And I don't really have a segue, honestly. I don't. So before we get into the main topics, I've been on a, like I said before, I haven't been really playing games, so I've been watching a lot of shows. And I'm a big tokusatsu fan. As you can see from the shelf behind me, I got my anime, my Hero shelf. I have my Kamen Rider shelf above it, which is not done. And then I got my Godzilla and Ultraman stuff right here. And yeah, so I have a new edition, as you can see right here. But this week, there's a deal on Amazon, and I couldn't say no because in my free time, I've watched more shows, and I love Kamen Rider. I'm a huge Kamen Rider fan. The merch, though, for it has always been so expensive because there's no places to readily buy this stuff in America. You would have to order it from Bandai or eBay, Amazon Japan. Let's see what other, like, Hobby List Japan. There's just Big Bad Toys. There's so many websites you would have to order from, and import prices, the shipping alone sometimes is like equal. Like, you could buy something for like $50 and you're gonna pay $30 for shipping. So in the last year or so, I noticed more and more Kamen Rider stuff and Ultraman stuff, thanks to like Mill Creek Entertainment. NECA is doing all the Godzilla toys. Hasbro has a Lightning collection. So a lot more stuff is showing up on Amazon. So I finally got for Kamen Rider Saber, because that's what I've been binge watching in my free time, because I started watching it when it started airing. I got like 4 episodes in, and it kind of fell off for me. Like, I wasn't really getting into it. But then I had all this free time, and I'm like, I had a day off the other day, technically today, and I was like, I'm gonna give Kamen Rider Blade another, or wow, Kamen Rider Saber. There's a character day Blades in it, and there's also a season called Kamen Rider Blade, which is very, I mess up, I jumble the names so much. But for Kamen Rider Saber, I actually got DX Seiken Sword Driver, and what it is it's basically their morpher if they were Power Rangers. It's how they transform, or Henshin. So this thing was on sale. I had Amazon store credit. I also had a deal where I got $10 off my next purchase. So I was like, screw it. It was $64.99. I got it for, I think, $38, free Prime shipping. And because of when I ordered it, I got the next day. And luckily, some stuff I added also in my cart for Valentine's Day gifts. All of it arrived in one big box, and I was so happy. The detail on this thing is amazing. I have a video actually that's live that I mentioned earlier of me basically, because I do the Toku mail call video series where every time I get something Tokusatsu in the mail, I do a video about it. Opening up the box for the first time, checking it out. Not really like a review, but more like just an unboxing. So there's a video like that up right now on the YouTube channel for you to check out. It's just the Toku mail call. It's under the playlist. I got some other stuff from Kamen Rider and Ultraman videos on there as well. So if you want, go check those out. They're kind of entertaining. I'm getting used to doing video stuff again. Like, I'm really good at video editing, but I'm just not good at recording and keeping up the energy and the charisma in my videos. It's easy. That's why I got into podcasting. But thankfully, thanks to all the conventions I've worked, like booths and this and that, and streaming, like, I'm getting better with being more comfortable on camera, which is telling for me because it's not easy. So yeah, for those of you listening in the podcast, like, check out the video, see what it looks like. For those of you watching on YouTube, you just saw the box and everything else. Really cool. Definitely gonna buy more stuff for it because they have different books that go into it that make sound effects and this and that. It's tough to explain just casually like that, but you could put different books up to 3 in it. When you pull the sword out, the book's actually open and it tells a quick story about the what the book's about. So it could be like Jack and the Beanstalk, Peter Pan, Sword of Arthur, which is King Arthur. I love it. I think that's why the season has grown on me, is because of all the book references. But that's it for new stuff I got them, for collectibles. I like that's slowed down too, just because when I get stuff shipped from Amazon, I like to be home because they just leave it in front of my door. And I don't, it's not that I don't trust people, it's just that there have been instances in the last year or so where packages have been stolen. So I try and time any Amazon purchases around me actually being home to, just basically take the package in the second they're delivered because I get the push notification on my watch and then I just go out the front door, grab it, bring it in. I'm good. I'll even time leaving around that. Like when this stuff came in the mail, like I had to go to the bank and this and that. I actually waited because I was like, okay, the Amazon app is great. It was like, hey, 3 stops away until it's delivered. So I was like, I'll wait. Then you could see it like a pinpoint on your map on the map where it is. And I was like, all right, they'll be here in like 15 minutes. I can push back leaving. I'll wait for the box to get here. And that's what I do now with my Amazon deliveries. So let's get into the topics. I'm going to go over the Zack Snyder cut issues I have right now, just because that's going to be the quicker of the two topics to talk about. So, what spawned these feelings in me about just too much information being revealed or teased was when Jared Leto's Joker was shown from Zack Snyder, and it was like in the nightmare world scenes, and I was just like, I when they first announced it, I was so happy. I was hyped for it. I was like, yeah, we're getting it. It's about time. Then almost every day we're like, okay, here's a look at the Batman tank. Here's a look at Superman. Here's a look at Darkseid and his, members of the, Apocalypse and this. And I'm like, stop. Like by time, like I've already seen so much of these, like teasers and teased images and shots. It's like I want to be surprised. Like we know Joss Whedon's version of Justice League barely had anything that's going to be in the Snyder cut. We know a lot of reshoots and horrible CG, so it's almost like a completely different movie. We know that. But I don't need to know everything different that's going to be in this before it comes out. Like we're what 40 days away, 38 or something like that. I don't even know. And it's every day it's something new and I'm just like, come on now. Like just and then on Valentine's Day we're getting a trailer and I'm just like, I'm okay with a trailer because we got the teaser trailer. Yeah, they gave us just a teaser trailer, kept their mouth shut, and then we're like, hey, we're dropping a trailer on this date. You know, come watch it. That would be fine. But every day, it's slowly just like I have the Snyder Cut muted for the first time since release the Snyder Cut was, started. That trend was started. I have it muted now because I'm just tired of seeing stuff for it. I just I just want to be surprised. That's like look at Godzilla versus Kong. We got one trailer. That's it. I'm happy with that. I don't need another trailer until it comes out. I really don't. And I don't want any more information. Like let me go in surprised. Maybe it's my age showing, but I remember when most of the time we got just like a poster and maybe a quick TV spot and that one time and that was it for movies. Most of the time I didn't remember knowing about new movies until I went to a movie gallery or a blockbuster and they were on the new release section and it's like I didn't even know this was coming out. Or you go to a movie theater and you see the poster for a movie that says now showing. It's like or now playing. It's like I didn't even know that movie was out. Okay, cool. Like I don't know when it got so popular to just keep releasing trailers nonstop and teasing these movies without information. It spoils it. I like the genuine surprise of going and watching a movie and almost not having any information on it. other than like what it's supposed to be about. Like, can you imagine if we like? I'm trying to say a prime example. Imagine with Spider-Man 3 coming out. We get a trailer, a teaser trailer, and posters, and that's it. You wouldn't, you'd be like, when you go in a movie, you'd be like, everything you see in this would be completely fresh, first time seeing. But the more screenshots you see, the more teaser trailers, the more snippets you see, you piece all together. You've got like a majority of the movie like already given to you. And it just annoys me because I'm genuinely hyped for the Snyder Cut of Justice League. But now I'm getting annoyed that it's just constantly something new being popping up, you know? It's I get it. Like you don't even need it to build hype. That's the thing. If they're trying to build hype for this, they don't need to. They have the hype behind it. Prime example, WandaVision. WandaVision is phenomenal. I love this show so much. Everything about it. I love how every episode's a different era of TV. They had like the spinoff from Dick Van Dyke. They did their own Malcolm in the Middle type thing with the 90s. Like, I love everything about that. And the best thing is when the credits roll abruptly with a cliffhanger every episode, by the way, which is a whole nother issue I have because they keep stringing me along, dangling a carrot, and then the episode's over. That it's like, here's the credits. But the best thing is the credits play at the end of the episode, which are ridiculous long. They're like 6 minutes credits, by the way. Like I noticed, I'm just like, okay, this is the 30 something minute episode, and then it's like, okay, there's like 8 minutes left, and it's like credits. And I'm like, that's a really long credit sequence, if you don't mind me saying. But when the credits are done, that's it. There's no next time on, no teaser, no preview for the next episode. They leave you with the wanting more. They don't give you any hinkling of what exactly is going to be in the next episode. And I love that because then it's not a week of me being like, oh, well, they set out the promo materials and teasers for the next episode. It's like, no, they're just like, hey, here's episode 6. See you next Friday for episode 7. And I'm like, okay, I'll see you next week. That's it. Thank you for not overly spoiling things for me because I appreciate that. It's just, I don't know. I know it's kind of like tedious to rant about, and like I shouldn't really be that up in arms about it, and I'm not. It's not like I'm ready to be like, hey, cancel the Snyder Cut. Like I'm not. I do not partake in cancel culture. I partake in actions have consequences, and that's it. And yes, that was a subtle nod at the whole Gina thing going on with the Mandalorian and Disney. I'm just saying this right now. I keep my mouth shut about politics unless it's a gross injustice and something that needs to be said. Other than that, I keep my mouth shut. I'm just saying, one, I'm not canceling Disney Plus. Hell no. Okay? Because WandaVision is too good. We got Winter Soldier and Falcon coming out. And honestly, I genuinely like Disney Plus. Same with HBO Max. I actually like my streaming services. Like when everyone was trying to get everyone to cancel Netflix last year, I was like, listen, like I would, but Haunting a Blind Manor. I mean, I can't really just, can't like, what am I gonna watch? Like, I'm sorry. They're like, oh yeah, hit them in the pockets. That'll make them change their mind. It's like they're not gonna notice me canceling my subscription. Plus, I mean, I get most of them for free through my cell phone provider, so it's not like I'm really paying for them anyways. That's all I'll say on that. And yeah, so that's it for that rant. Now I'm really going to get out my soapbox because this is something that I am. I hate this situation right now, and a lot of people have, like, a lot of my friends actually have been, when I talk to them this, I have actually been asking for my opinion on this, which is weird because usually I have just general conversations with my friends. We'll talk about like stuff that's trending. We'll talk about our games and comics and movies and stuff like that, and just general life stuff. But then when they are taking time out of their day to be like, hey, what do you think about all this Pokemon TCG stuff from McDonald's? And like, did you see that video of the Cinnamon Toast Crunch boxes being basically ripped open and left there in grocery stores? Like, you play Pokemon TCG, you collect, you actually play. Like, I can't right now because I can't play in person, but I do play Pokemon TCG online. Once everything's back to normal, so to speak, I will be doing in person tournaments. they asked me, like, what is my opinion on this? And I'm like, oh, wow, like, okay, this is going to be a conversation. And then I got to the point where I was like, I have to talk about this on the podcast with my Sailor Moon t-shirt. So, for those of you who don't know, it's the 25th anniversary of Pokemon. And at McDonald's, if you get a Happy Meal, you can get the option of a Pokemon 25 toy, which is a Pokemon TCG booster pack that comes with 4 cards. And it comes like a little frame to put the cards in. Nice little, folded over, like little package. And people are buying these up like crazy. At first, you were going to be able to get them with a Happy Meal and then buy the packs for $1.99. McDonald's swerved on that. They're like, nah. Some locations are still doing it, but most are not. You have to buy the Happy Meal. And there's people going out there buying the Happy Meals and being like, don't put food in it. Just give me the Happy Meals. So they're buying 20, 50, 100 of these Happy Meals. And literally, there's 25 cards. There's 50 different cards in total, but only 25. There's just a second variant. So there's 25. It's all the starters and Pikachu. And they're all regular cards. Or you can get a holo foil of all 25. So there's 50, technically 50 different cards in total. And there's people that are trying to sell the foil Pikachu for like $70 to $90. People are trying to sell the packs for $50 each. I saw someone try and sell a box, just like the actual box they get sent into McDonald's, sealed, of all the cards for over $900. I was joking around with a friend of mine. He's just like, "Yeah, did you see they're selling for the cent?" I'm like, "Wow, here's my issue." And it's not even inflation of price because I stopped reselling Pokemon cards a while ago because I was like, as long as the Poke tubers or whatever they want to call themselves are doing these pack openings and showing the value of cards, a lot of the card values are inflated and also a lot of them decreased from oversaturation. So I was like, I don't care. Like, I just want to collect the cards. Like, I would like to get all 50. But the thing is, I'm not. And the main thing that really bothered me is someone bought 100 Happy Meals. And at the end of the day, they're a kid. Like, we are in a pandemic. Things have been, shit, part of my language. And to, I would feel bad, even if I had the money and I didn't care, and I went and bought 100 Happy Meals. Whatever. Even if I didn't post it on social media, because a lot of people are posting on social media for the clicks and the retweets and this and that. Like, the exploitation of the TCG itself is what bothers me more than the pricing and the resellers. Because a lot of people are like, oh yeah, no, follow, retweet, tag some friends, come subscribe to my YouTube or subscribe to my Twitch and be entered in to win some packs. Because the internet and the scalpers and this that put values on these packs. So now people are going and running to get the packs for the value. It's kind of like when everyone was buying it on GameStop stock. And then look how that turned out now, you know? So I'm just like, I would feel bad if I went through and I bought 100 of these, because then little Timmy, you know, hasn't been able to like play with his friends or this and that, loves Pokemon, watches the cartoon show on Netflix, has, plushies, this and that, just loves Pokemon. He's in line behind me. He walks up to go get his, Happy Meal, his Pokemon. He's been waiting. He can't wait to open the cards, talk to his friends, be like, look what I got. I got a Squirtle and it's shiny and it's like all like, when I move it, it has all like sparkles. Comes up right after me. Goes to get it. Like, sorry. No more Happy Meals. No more Pokemon Happy Meals. Here, have a generic toy no one cares about. Because the 34-year-old man that was in line ahead of you just bought 100 of them. I would feel like an asshole. Part of my language. I really would. I'm not a fan of buying in bulk. Prime example, if I go to Target now, there's actually no TCG stuff there anymore. And there's just a sign in place, 2 per customer. Limit. That's it. But they have been cleared out of Pokemon cards since November. And I'm just like, really? Like, I just want to play. I want to, like, from a Pokemon TCG player standpoint, when new sets come out, there's like a shifting bar. So a new set comes out, that means the last oldest set that was still allowed in standard tournaments gets cut out. So and the ban cards change constantly. So I need newer cards to stay current with standard tournament rules. Even though I have decks that like I don't even need any of the newer cards, but eventually I'm gonna need those newer cards down the road. And by then, because of the oversaturation of pricing and gougers and scalpers, it's gonna suck for me to obtain any cards to actually play the game. It is a selfish way to put it, but like it's honestly, it's like okay, there's a lot of us who actually play Pokemon. I have a lot of friends who play, like, that's what we play Pokemon TCG. Because as of right now, there's very few games that are TCG that let you play online. There's Pokemon TCG online, so if you buy a pack in real life, you get that pack in the game to open. Magic the Gathering also is the same way. But things like Yu-Gi-Oh, Dragon Ball Super card game, the Transformers card game, the now newly returning Digimon card game, none of those have an online version. So yeah, some of those ones that don't have online versions, I can get like I can go get Magic cards right now. I can go get Dragon Ball. Even Dragon Ball Super is kind of tough to find at some places. But I can get Magic, Dragon Ball Super, Digimon is starting to get the price going up. I noticed, and it just came out, and already people are trying to like spike the prices a bit. And I'm like, please don't. Like that is stupid. But you know, this whole Pokemon thing is just so annoying that I don't even know honestly what to fully say. Like it's crazy to see how these people are acting. Now I brought up the point to one of my friends. I was like, but when it comes to people like Lionheart, who is probably the most wholesome Pokemon TCG YouTuber in the world, like legitimately, like I was out of the loop on a lot of stuff. I was just buying my packs, buying my theme decks to use in Pokemon TCG to get the card, like this and that. And then one day I just was on YouTube because I was trying to find um what pack a certain card was coming in, and his YouTube popped up. And since then, I watch every video when they go live. Uh, Lionheart is just Leonhardt or Lionheart. He's just so wholesome, and I love what he does because he does a lot of stuff for freaking charity. And it's not like him buying older packs and this and that is hurting what's going on right now because he's buying like first editions, Team Rocket, Shadowless, you know, Evolution, all those older ones. That's not affecting what's on the shelf right now. It really isn't. Even people like Rhyme Style, they're hunting class. They're buying big ticket Pokemon cards. So this is not even affecting the ecosystem of the new stuff being released. Even like Logan Paul, like some of my friend brought up Logan Paul, and I was like, dude, he's buying first edition and Shadowless packs, like in Team Rocket packs. Like he's not, you know, going out and buying, 50 booster boxes of Vivid Voltage, or Darkness Ablaze. He's not. He's going after the big ticket ones. And once again, for freaking charity. So I like that has nothing to do with the current climate. Yes, it has raised the price of a lot of vintage ones and it had opened the eyes of a lot of people that hey, Pokemon TCG is still around and it's still a way you can make some money off of it and invest in this and that. So I don't even, I'm not even mad at that stuff. It's the people, not going to name any names. It's more or less the YouTubers who do all things Pokemon, like the video games and TCG and newer stuff, that are just like, I'm gonna open up 10 booster boxes of Darkness Ablaze. Let's see what we pull. Ooh, a fat Pikachu. Like, this is worth this. Okay, I'm gonna sell that. Let's buy some more. It's like the the new school PokeTubers, which still sounds weird to say, honestly. They're the ones who are inflating the prices. They're the ones who are buying the hype. And you need the hype because they're getting the views also, which is cool. No problem. No qualms there. You know what I'm saying? I respect the hustle. But this McDonald's situation is just gross with how everyone is acting. And, you know, to an extent, Nintendo and Game Freaks, they knew what was going to happen. They knew this was going to happen because they see how much their stuff is selling. Like, I can only go to my local comic book shop to even get Pokemon cards now. I can't go to a general store, like a chain, like a Walmart or Target or anything. I have to go to my comic book shop. And even then, they're doing pre-orders and like limiting how many people could buy. Because I live in San Diego. A lot of people out here, it's a densely populated area. So The next thing is Cinnamon Toast Crunch. They have their own Pokemon packs that are different than the ones from McDonald's. And the packs, like, I don't think they put the toys in the bag with the cereal anymore. I think they're on the outside now. I saw like a TikTok or something someone posted on Twitter because my friend tagged me in it, and uh, like a whole bunch of boxes just smashed, ripped open, and like all the cards were taken out of them. And I'm like, well, for starters, I'm not going after those packs because for starters, I don't like Cinnamon Toast Crunch. I don't really like cereal. I'm not a big cereal person. I'm sorry. I'm just not. I'm just not. I just don't like cereal. Okay, if I do eat cereal, it's like old people cereal, like Blueberry Morning or uh the honey nut flake, the ones with the oat clusters. Like I'm not like into sugary cereals. I never have been. I never will be. I don't like Rice Krispies, Fruity Pebbles, Cocoa Pebbles, Fruit Loops. None of that. Just not a fan. Okay, I like my old people cereal. I like grape nuts, and that sounded weird when I said it. Maybe honeycombs is a top tier cereal. I'll do Frosted Flakes. You know, if I'm like that's like the closest thing to like a sugary cereal I'll eat is like Frosted Flakes. But I don't like Cinnamon Toast Crunch. So am I gonna go buy boxes of Cinnamon Toast Crunch for Pokemon cards? No, no, not at all. Because that would be honestly be a waste of food. I'm not gonna eat it. So and to see all the people like clamoring because I actually asked one of my friends. I was like, hey, I don't have to go to the grocery store for a couple more days. I was like, I'm just curious. Next time you go, if you go before the weekend, let me know if you see any Cinnamon Toast Crunch boxes with Pokemon and take a photo. I don't want you to buy me a box. Unless you eat Cinnamon Toast Crunch and you're out of Cinnamon Toast Crunch and you're re upping your Cinnamon Toast Crunch, then buy one. I'll take the pack off you. But if you're not, don't buy it just to get the cards for me and force yourself to eat the cereal. No, save that box for someone who actually likes Cinnamon Toast Crunch. I'm sure a lot of kids like Cinnamon Toast Crunch and has Pokemon, so they're gonna want it. Like, I don't know if it's just because like all the charity work I've done in the last almost 5 years now is I don't know if that's just like affecting my outlook on things as I get older, but like especially because I do a lot of stuff with like Extra Life and some other charities. Maybe it's because like I just don't want like to take and I don't want to take something that would bring joy to a kid, and that's just me. And I'm not saying they're doing that's like directly doing that. That's just my outlook and my thought process for why I don't do it. I'm not saying if you went out and bought some Cinnamon Toast Crunch and you're gonna eat the cereal and you want the Pokemon cards that you're a horrible person and you don't like and you don't care about you know the joy and happiness of kids. I'm not saying that at all. I'm just saying for me personally, that's like what goes on in my head to stop me from doing it. Plus, not gonna lie, this is a bold statement. Cinnamon Toast Crunch tastes horrible. Horrible. Now, the French toast cereal, is it cinnamon French toast? I don't even know what it's called, but the French toast one, that's top tier. That is delicious. I will say that is probably the only sugary cereal I'll eat because I rarely ever see it, but I just remember it as a kid. That was the best cereal ever when I was able to get it. But mainly I was healthy, so I never really got to eat it. But yeah, this whole Pokemon situation is just ridiculous. And it's only going to get worse. I was predicting the Pokemon TCG craze and all the people taking, like, just, things about it's going to be like at least another year. I think once, everyone's back to, working, less stay at home stuff, this and that, and everyone's like working again and this and that. Because let's face it, flipping Pokemon cards is a good way to make money. I made some good money doing it. I'm but I also didn't go clear out a hold. I just got really lucky with the packs. The RNG gods blessed me and blessed my packs. They came down, they touched the pack, they blessed it. And when I opened it, I was getting secret rares. Not my fault. So, yeah, I made some money. It helped because I wasn't working. And if I was working, I probably would have never sold those cards, honestly. I would have kept them in my collection. So before I end this topic, before I go, I just want to say the only thing I want from the McDonald's Happy Meal Pokemon cards is I want the foil Bulbasaur. Bulbasaur is my favorite Pokemon. I always lean towards grass type, but from a Gen 1 starter, Bulbasaur is my go to. That's my guy. That is my favorite Pokemon. So that's like the main card I want is that one. That's it. If I get the foil Pikachu, that'd be great too because I do like Pikachu. But I don't, even though he was a starter in yellow and Let's Go Pikachu, I don't consider Pikachu a starter Pokemon. So from starter standpoint, Bulbasaur is my favorite. And that's the one I actually want. And if I don't get it, I'm not going to lose sleep over it. Am I going to go buy one on eBay? No, not at all. That is not happening. But that's it for the topics. That was my ranting. I don't really like doing ranting topics. Out of the 70 total episodes, this one included, I think I've only done like 3 or 4 rants. Honestly, like I just generally do not like ranting. I'm usually an upbeat, happy person, but then certain things start to piss me off and annoy me, and then I'm like, let's talk about it. And that's what I did. So, once again, I thank you for listening or watching episode 70 of A Nerd Named Mark podcast. If you check out the YouTube channel, make sure you subscribe, like, and comment on the video what your thoughts are on the Pokemon 25 TCG McDonald situation. Or are you still hyped for Justice League? Like, or are you also getting, I should say this, are you getting annoyed with all the teasers and reveals every day for Zack Snyder's cut of Justice League? Because I am. If you go over to anchor.fm/ANNM podcast, you'll see a central hub of all the places you can find a Nerd Name Mark podcast. It's on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Stitcher, Podbean. Oh, there's just so many. You can just type in a Nerd Name Mark podcast and it'll pop up anywhere. If you're listening to it on Apple Podcasts, be sure to leave me a 5-star review, a little comment, this and that. I do have my email, which is annmpod@nerdtaku.com. You can always send me questions for the podcast or just questions in general. I get a lot of people who will send me emails asking me, hey, what's your username in this? Like, you want to play Pokemon TCG? Or, hey, I'm running, like, when I was heavy into Diablo 3, I had a lot of people emailing me to, like, run them through different instances because I was really high level. My Paragon level, like, was insane. So I was helping people run that and different Torment levels, like Torment 13 and stuff like that. So I get a lot of questions and emails that don't warrant like doing a questions section of the podcast, but I do get a lot of emails. So if you ever have questions that you want me to actually like answer on the podcast, just let me know right in the body of the email or in the subject line of it. If not, usually I just reply directly to everybody. Just it's nice interaction like that. Most of the time or people hit me up on Twitter and the Twitter DMs and ask me questions about stuff because my DMs are always open. I love talking about comics, movies, anything really. So social media for Instagram and Twitter is a Nerd Named Mark. We have the Facebook page. Just type in a Nerd Named Mark. Like I said, everything is a Nerd Named Mark. It's just universal branding, making it easy to find. I hit my mic again. Are you kidding me? Like, you figure after 70 episodes of, okay, I've changed my setup a lot, but you figure after at least like 60 episodes, I would get used to the mic arm and everything else, but I don't. I still hit it because even when I'm not doing a video, I move around like this when I talk. It's just, my mom says it's because I'm half Italian, and that's just, and then I'm like, oh yeah, no, okay, cool. So it's not just because I have restless leg syndrome, and I'm also drinking a can of Phase Berry G Fuel. No, not at all. Like, I'm just, I have too much energy and I'm sitting still. That being said, thank you for hanging out, listening, watching episode 70 of A Nerd Named Mark podcast. I'm getting used to do the video versions. I still because of work, I haven't had time to really try and promote the YouTube channel. I gained some new subscribers. So starting back at 0 has been really tough. I'm up to 24 now, subscribers on YouTube, which is cool. I'm thankful. Like, I knew it was going to be like a slow start getting back into it. I already got some videos up at over 100 views, this and that. So I'm like, oh, thank you guys. So thank you to everyone who has been checking out the YouTube channel. Make sure you subscribe with notifications on so you know when my podcast video goes live, or any other videos, whether it's my reviews, trailer reactions, unboxings, mail call, toku stuff, like a lot of stuff going on there. So I appreciate everyone who keeps coming in over to the YouTube, checking out the videos. So like I said, thank you for coming out and checking out episode 70 of A Nerd Named Mark podcast. My name is Mark, and I'm a nerd.